Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to this session, Copilot Chat Unlock from Fundamentals to AI Innovation. My name is Sarina Stan, and I will be your host for the day. I'm an official Microsoft certified trainer, and I'm a technical pre-sales consultant here in our Hybrid Cloud Center of Excellence in TDC Next EMEA. And without any further ado, let's check our agenda for today. Of course, that we will be discussing everything about Copilot Chat, and we will start with the value proposition. And then we will follow through with a couple of updates in Copilot Chat to understand how this technology has changed over the past couple of months. We will delve into the art of prompting, or prompt engineering, as Microsoft likes to call it. So we understand the importance of prompting when we work with this technology that is Copilot Chat. And of course, that we are going to check some of the most powerful functionalities that come together inside Copilot Chat, which is the Copilot Chat Agent Builder and the newest functionality that has been released, Copilot Co-work. Good. Now, let's kick it off with a question. And if you have the opportunity, please feel free to write in the chat. And the question is, how many of you have already tried Copilot Chat and played around with its many functionalities? You can feel free to write in the chat, and I will simply check your answers. My curiosity is to know where everybody is today in this journey. And if you haven't touched the technology at all, that's okay. This is why we are here. Today is all about showing you what it can do and how it fits into your day-to-day work. Because the idea behind Copilot Chat is very simple, is to make it easier to get things done without having to jump between many applications or to dig through files. So instead of spending time searching for answers, you can just ask, you can just type a question in Copilot Chat and you will receive the answer. And it's about using the tools that we already have access to, but in a smarter way. We know that the M365 Copilot Chat is this enterprise-ready AI chat that is also available at no extra cost when we have an M365 subscription, right? When we have business standard, when we have business premium. So Copilot Chat is our chat. It's our AI. It's the place where we interact with our AI assistant for work. And by default, right, Copilot Chat is grounded in web data. But let me show you what I mean by this, right? By default, it's grounded in web data, which means it can reason over data that is present over the web. But if I have a paid M365 Copilot license, it can also be grounded in my work data. And this is why whenever I have a paid M365 Copilot license, I will see two tabs at the top of my Copilot Chat interface, this toggle, this switch between work and web. Of course, that the most powerful and useful functionalities of Copilot Chat come whenever we have to deal with the work toggle, right? Because the true power comes from this AI assistant helping us delivering our day-to-day work. Of course, that both modes provide generative AI services, right? But they serve different purposes in how they help us to be more productive, right? So in work mode, our responses, right? In work mode, the Copilot Chat responses are grounded in work data that is available to us. This means that by using the Microsoft Graph, right, Copilot can help us access organizational resources, our content, whether it's our files, our chats, our emails, our meetings, the people that we interact with, right? This is through the work tab, this is how we work with our work context, and this is how we can manage and complete tasks directly related to our work. But that is not all, because now Copilot Chat has very powerful LLMs in the background, and GPT-5 is now part of the Copilot experience. What does that mean for us as end users? In very simple terms, it's a major leap forward in how Copilot understands and responds to our requests. Very different than the experience that we had access to with GPT-4. If you've been using Copilot Chat that was running on GPT-4, right? Now GPT-5, so compared to the previous versions, GPT-5 is much faster, more reliable, more accurate, and it's much better if you have observed, if you've touched this technology, it's much better at handling complex multi-step tasks. So it's not just about answering questions anymore. It can follow context across the conversation. It can summarize large amounts of information coming from different pieces of data, and can help us even generate structured outputs like plans or reports, right, without losing trace of clarity in the conversation. So for example, if you ask Copilot in Copilot Chat now to draft a project update based on multiple documents, based on multiple chats, emails, folders, right, GPT-5 can pull those pieces together in a way that is easy. The bottom line is that, right, the GPT-5 experience is more reliable. And that is not all, right? Because now there is another large language model that is part of the Copilot experience alongside GPT-5 from OpenAI, but we will reveal what that LLM is later down the line in our webinar. Right? And the reason why GPT-5 is so powerful, how does GPT-5 work? We enter a prompt as usual, right? And what happens with GPT-5 is that instead of going directly to one single model, the router first checks how complex our request is, right? This is the auto router, right, that decides how long it should think before providing us an answer. And the idea behind it's simple. If our request is simple, right, it goes directly through the GPT-5 high throughput model for quick answers. But if our request is complex, if our request needs to be broken down in several steps, it will go directly through the GPT-5 advanced reasoning model, right? The one for thinking deeper, the one that takes more time to think and provides more deeper and more context-aware responses, right? This is the first time that reasoning models are built directly into the Copilot Chat experience. And this simply means that, right, this experience can handle complex tasks much, much better. And right, as you can see, you don't really have to do anything. You can simply just let the LLM decide how to respond, or if you simply know that you want a quick response, a quick answer right away, you can choose to do so. If you know that you are going to deal with a very complex task, you can choose to choose to go for the advanced reasoning model from the get-go, or if you don't exactly know what type of task you are performing, you can simply leave the LLM on auto, and it will decide by itself how long it will think before it will resolve your task. Now, the updated Copilot app, because right, the updated Copilot app, which is what I am using right here, the M365 app, is a key part of this foundational Copilot Chat experience that relies on GPT-5, because it brings five core capabilities into place. And before, right, in the old days, organizations needed to buy capabilities separately from different vendors and piece everything together, take care of the infrastructure, right? A lot of work done in the background. But now all of these capabilities are brought together into a single application, right, into a single view with a consistent experience. This application is the M365 Copilot app or the Copilot chat in the web version, right? Because let's remember what Microsoft's value proposition is that Copilot is the user interface for artificial intelligence when it comes to work. So everything that we need is in one single place, in one single view. First things first, of course, inside Copilot chat, inside the updated Copilot app, we have the chat experience. This is the main experience. This is the conversational experience that we are used to, the one that is more faster and more accurate now that it's running on GPT-5. Second, we have the search experience, which is an AI enterprise power search, right? And it connects across M365 and third-party applications such as ServiceNow, Google Drive, or Jira, right, to help you get context-aware answers from your files or to help you find files more easier. Think about files that you've accessed the last time, files that you've maybe shared the last time, files that you've maybe started working on and forgotten about them, and now they are lost inside of your computer, where with this AI-powered enterprise search, they are no longer lost. Third, of course, one of the strongest capabilities of Copilot Chat is the agentic capability, because Copilot Chat comes with a set of pre-built agents, as we will see, right? But also with the capability of us building our own Copilot agents through the Copilot Chat Agent Builder. We have the notebook experience, right, that helps teams stay connected, stay aligned, working together on projects, right, because you can connect different types of content and see updates in real time. For example, if you're working together with your team on a very specific project, you can see in real time everything that your team is doing through this notebook experience. And last but not least, of course, we have the create experience. This is the experience in which we can generate images, poster, banners, right, even videos, right? This is the creation experience inside of Copilot Chat. Let me quickly pause and see if we have anything written in the chat. We have people that are using Copilot Chat every day. That's great. Someone is even using it with notebooks. That's great. Thank you for the answers. Good. And now that we know where Copilot Chat lives, right, we cannot go further without talking about prompting, right? Very briefly, because how we ask matters. And we've learned by now that the quality of our prompt often determines the quality of the response that we're going to receive from our AI assistant, right? So the next section is all about prompting, how to phrase our request so Copilot gives us the best possible results. And for this, right, to maximize the value of Copilot, it's very important that we learn how to craft really good prompts, right? Really good, I mean clear and concise and specific instructions that improve the qualities of the results. And for this, Microsoft is offering us 4 main ingredients that we should follow across our journey whenever we are interacting with Copilot. Virginie, yes, notebooks aren't in the free version of Copilot Chat. You will need the paid M365 Copilot license to get access to the functionality. This is a functionality locked behind the M365 Copilot license. What you get access to without the paid license is mainly the web experience, right? So you won't have access to the work toggle, and you would get access to building your own custom agents in Copilot Chat if you would have a pay-as-you-go consumption model. But if you don't have a paid M365 Copilot license, right, you won't get access to notebooks. You won't get access with pre-built agents by Microsoft, right? You have a lot of functionalities that are actually locked behind the M365 Copilot license. Most of the functionalities that I am explaining today are locked behind the M365 Copilot license, right? That is bringing all of this many capabilities in Copilot Chat. I hope that this has answered your question. Right, going back to a good prompt. How does a good prompt sound? Or what are the 4 key elements that we should take into consideration whenever we want to write a consistent prompt, or whenever we want to get consistent results from AI? First things first, we should always have a context. We should explain why we need what we exactly need and who is involved, right? For example, are we preparing for a meeting? Are we writing a report? Are we doing marketing competitor research, right? This is our context. Why do I need it? And next, I need to have a goal in mind. I need to be clear about what you want Copilot to deliver. Is it a concise summary? Is it a list of actions? Is it to draft an email? Is it to draft a marketing proposal for a new product that I'm launching? Right? And then I need to have a source. Maybe I can tell Copilot where to look. Maybe Copilot can use a specific document or recent emails or web articles. And then, of course, I need to set my expectations straight. I need to describe how I want the response to look like. Is it supposed to be concise? Is it supposed to use a professional tone? Is it supposed to use a technical tone, right? So watching out for each of these specific elements will define the quality of the output that you're going to receive from your AI assistant, right? These are the ingredients that set the scene, that define the goal, that specify the source, and that set the expectation clear, right? And in terms of what makes a good prompt, or what are the prompting do's and don'ts, I think these are very intuitive. I think it's clear that we need to be clear and specific and keep it conversational, right? Because let's remember that Copilot Chat in itself is a conversational experience. If the first response even isn't quite right, we can always give it feedback and tell AI to reiterate, or maybe we can give examples, right? Using clear examples. If we want a certain style, we can mention that, right? And of course that we always have to check for accuracy. Let's forget that Copilot, it's powerful, right? But it's a reason why it's called Copilot. We are still in the driver's seat, and we are still the ones steering this this technology. So we always need to review for correctness and for context for everything that AI does, right? And in terms of what we shouldn't do, again, this is very clear. We shouldn't be vague. Very simple prompts like help me do this won't give us a lot of useful results, right? Of course, that we should use an appropriate language, because if we use slang or jargon, this can confuse the model, or it can lead to poor results, or the model can try to replicate your language, and again, this will lead to poor results, right? These are tips that help you stay consistent. Nevertheless, it's on you to also experiment with different prompts, right, and refine them based on the output, so you also understand how far this technology can go. And if you ever find yourselves in front of the computer and you have no ideas on how to write a prompt, right? We have a resource from Microsoft directly that is called the M365 Copilot Prompt Gallery, right? That should be surfaceable through Copilot chat, but for some reason, it is, right? So right here in Copilot chat, if I go on the three dots that are right under the text box, I can reach the Copilot prompt gallery, and I can select prompts that are based on the task that I want to do. For example, maybe I want to catch up with some meetings, and then I can see the prompts that I can use based on the exact action that I want to take, or prompts based on the department I am working on. So even if you are idealist, right, you have a very good resource right here inside of Copilot chat that can help you get started. Right, and these are top 10 prompts that you can try with M365 Copilot chat, and these are prompts that you can actually find here in the prompt gallery, right? So it is no secret, right? So this will be your go-to resource for finding prompting inspiration to make the most out of your Copilot daily workflow. And some things that I can do, for example, is that obviously I can edit the existing prompts, so I can make them sound better for myself. I can save the prompt. So whenever I find a prompt that is very good and is working really, really well for me, I'm going to save it and I'm going to find it here under my prompts. Or I can also share prompts with my team. Again, if I find a prompt that is working very good for myself or for my team, I can share the prompt so I don't have to write it every single time. Right? And now let's try some prompting, right? Let's do an actual demo. And let's start with using Copilot chat in my production environment, right? And let's start very easy. I will keep the work toggle on, right? And I will want to find out what will be the, let's say, top 5 things that me and my manager would most likely discuss in our next one-to-one, right? And for that, I am going to copy the prompt that I have here, and I will simply ask Copilot based on my prior interaction with, now I want to reference my manager, so I want to attach my work context, right? I will go right here under people, and I will simply type in the name of my manager. So based on my prior interactions with my manager, give me 5 things likely top of mind for our next meeting. And this is how I'm going to show up prepared for the next one-to-one with my manager. Right? Let's see what Copilot chat will do. Right? Because Copilot chat has this native capability. M365 Copilot has this native integration with Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Graph, that is this huge pool of data that is holding all of our content and context. Again, all of our chats, all of our files, emails, meetings, people that we work with, right, through the Microsoft Graph. Right, Copilot is grounding into my work context and content, and it's reasoning over my interactions with my manager, right, over the past couple of weeks. And based on the interactions, it can identify the trends and the patterns for our next conversation, right? And if we want to see the reasoning, if you want to see how exactly this AI model is reasoning in the background, I can simply check the reasoning right here, right? So what we will have to do, a dry run session for an upcoming Copilot Studio and Agent session, right? A demo for a new SKU in our tenant. All right, assessments for Copilot readiness, security, operational hygiene, right, team structure. And it's giving me a micro agenda that I can even use in our next one-to-one. And this is great, right? I am prepared and ready to show up for my meeting with my manager. Of course, that you can do this for any type of meeting that you have with anybody in your own company. Let's start a new chat. I will start a new chat for every new demo just so we can keep things right clear and separate. And let's try a second prompt. Let's ask, for example, Copilot to summarize a very long document. Let's see how this works. Just for you to see that, for example, I want to ask it to summarize a PowerPoint. I don't need to open up the said PowerPoint and ask Copilot in PowerPoint to summarize my document. I can do it from Copilot chat as well. This is the idea behind the Copilot chat, behind the M365 Copilot app, behind the web version of Copilot chat, that you don't have to switch, you don't have to move, you can do everything from a single pane of glass. And if I want to reference my work context again, I can click on this little plus right here, or I can also use this backslash option that is not working right now. That's fine. Right, so let's find the files. And let's actually use the PowerPoint that I'm using, right, for our session. So I want this document summarized into 8 to 10 bullet points that capture the main arguments and recommendations, flag any possible next steps that need to be taken, right? And now it's basically going to tell us the things that I've also been telling you during the session, the main capabilities that I've also been explaining, right? Copilot Chat is the new default AI entry point in M365. GPT-5 is embedded in Copilot Chat. This is no longer a standalone chat experience, but it's the UI for AI. We've touched on prompting, so this is exactly what we see in the summary, right? And then it's giving away the themes for the next hours of the webinar, right? Discussing about the built-in agents and about the anthropic models that are now available and part of the M365 Copilot experience, right? And I can even take it a step further, right? So I know what this document is about. I have a very good and a very thorough summary. But let's say that I want to come prepared to the meeting, right? I have the PowerPoint deck, but I want to go prepared to my meeting. So based on this presentation deck, list 10 smart questions the audience might ask during Q&A. Include one challenging question and suggest an answer for each. Right? And now, for example, I would be prepared for the questions that you would ask me during the question and answer sessions. Right, what is the difference between using Copilot Chat for free and the paid Copilot license? How does Copilot decide whether to use fast or deep reasoning? Is Copilot embedded everywhere? How is Copilot different from just using ChatGPT? This is right. This is a killer question, and exactly the differences in the enterprise grounding and security, right? And then some questions about the topic of agents that we haven't touched yet. Let's check the challenging questions. How do we prevent Copilot and agents from automating bad processes instead of improving them? Interesting. All right. Right, this is the conversational chat experience. And I was telling you that we can also save prompts inside of Copilot chat, that we can also share the prompts with people. But there is something else that you can do with the prompts. And this is a part of Copilot chat that is bringing a bit of more automation. So I'm going to put in my prompt right here. And we will schedule this prompt to run automatically every day of the week. First things first, we need to release the prompt. So the prompt in itself is pretty simple. You are my productivity partner within M365. Your mission is to optimize my daily workflow by managing emails, tasks, and meetings with precision. Act proactively to keep me organized and focused, provide actionable insights, prioritize tasks, ensure my calendar supports deep work, summarize key emails, draft responses, and prepare meeting briefs with relevant context. Deliver a morning plan, end of day recap, and suggest improvements, right? Always anticipate my needs, protect my focus time, and adapt to my preferences. And now, right, this prompt is going to run and it's going to do everything that I've asked it to do here. But what we're going to wait for is for this prompt to finish running, for the output to be through, and then we are going to schedule this prompt for Copilot to get things done on our behalf. What this schedule allows us is to basically automate this type of actions at a very specific time. For example, me having a daily brief directly in my email at a very specific time without me having to ask Copilot to do so, right? So I have my morning plan. I have my today's priorities. Right. Perfect. And now I'm going to go here. I'm going to hover over my prompt and I'm going to use this little clock button called schedule this prompt. And right here, I am going to go directly on the schedule. And I'm going to run this prompt every day except Saturday and Sunday, right? Because I'm not working and I don't need a daily brief on Saturday and Sundays. And I am going to let this prompt run for a maximum number of times until the end of the month, right? Are ready. And I'm always going to see my daily brief in the original chat from which I've started my conversation, right? Now I'm saving my prompt, and now every day at 10 a.m., I think I've set it for 10 a.m., I'm going to receive a daily productivity brief. And it's as simple as that, right? This is a functionality that is turning Copilot into something more proactive rather than reactive. Good. Now let's get to the fun part and let's start talking about agents. Perfect. And let's start with the big picture, right? So we are still within the boundaries of Copilot chat, but we are moving on from the personal productivity piece, right? Personal productivity side, in which we focus on the individual, in which it's all about my own personal productivity and me having an AI assistant that I communicate with and is helping me solve my day-to-day tasks, right? I ask it and it delivers. And we're moving from this personal productivity to organizational productivity. We zoom out here on the right and we start thinking about the organization. And this is where artificial intelligence steps up from helping just one single person to helping or supporting an entire process, right? We are thinking about agents that can coordinate tasks across teams, that can maybe handle approvals, and that can keep workflows moving with minimal manual effort, right? So at the bottom, we see here two outcomes, right, that offer us the bigger picture of where Microsoft is actually heading and what their plans for the future are, right? So personal productivity with every employee having access to a Copilot license, but we are also now incorporating organizational productivity, right? Every business process will be transformed slowly by agents, right? So these two pieces show how artificial intelligence scales from helping just the individual to, yes, why not shaping or reshaping how business processes operate. And we cannot talk about Copilot agents without defining them and without finding out how do they work or where we can build them from. Simply put, AI agents are intelligent systems that use artificial intelligence to automate and execute business processes, no more, no less. An agent is a conversational AI that can interact with users in a chat interface, right? Or it doesn't even need to interact with users. It can execute a business process in the background. And these agents can answer questions, can provide information, and most importantly, they can perform tasks on behalf of the user or on behalf of a team. And of course, that these agents can be used in various business scenarios, such as customer support, IT help desk, HR support, you name it. The important idea is that they can work alongside or on behalf of individuals or on behalf of teams. And as we can see here, depending on their design, depending on their purpose, what is this agent tasked to do, they can vary in complexity and capability. And this is why we always see that these agents exist on this spectrum of capabilities, ranging from most simple to most advanced. And in the most simple side of the spectrum, right, we call it simple because they are also very easy to build, right? It's easy to build, easy to understand how to work with. We have the so-called retrieval agents, these retrieval agents that follow very predefined rules and instructions. These retrieval agents are ideal for structured tasks such as answer frequently asked questions or retrieving documents or retrieving information from documents. The next step, we have the so-called task agents that can do everything that the retrieval agents can do, but they take it one step further because these task agents can automate workflows by using right knowledge that they can ground on and by using rule-based logic and automation. And these task agents, these are the ones that are great for those repetitive business processes, right? And at the very far end, we have the agentic AI experience or the autonomous agents, right? That this is still an ever evolving space, right? But these are the agents that can indeed operate independently. that can be triggered by certain external events, so not necessarily, they don't necessarily wait for a prompt to be triggered, right? And they can also plan and orchestrate with minimal human input. And when it comes to the tools from which we build all of this type of agents, of course, that right, this agent creation spans across the Microsoft ecosystem, again, in terms of capabilities, right? Because we have tools that offer us ways in which we can build very simple agents with no code, to tools that put code first, right? When we talk, especially when we talk about these very simple retrieval agents, right? We talk about the building capabilities of the Copilot chat agent builder, right? Because this is where most users begin. This is the capability, the agent building capability we will see that we have inside of M365 Copilot chat. Right, and again, it's designed for business users. And if you already have an M365 Copilot license, you already have access to this agent builder inside M365 Copilot chat, right? It's designed for business users. You don't have to write any piece of code. You can even just type what you want in your own natural language, and the agent builder will do the whole configuration for you. And this is perfect for those lightweight use cases, for those teams, lightweight use cases, such as frequently asked questions, such as maybe guiding onboarding, guiding help desk resources, right? Supporting internal documentation, supporting internal workflows, because it's fast, it's accessible, it's already part of the tools that we use every day, and it's really, really easy to start building agents inside of it, as we will see. But right before we start thinking about the agent building capabilities of the Copilot Chat Agent Builder, it's worth knowing that inside Copilot Chat, right, together through the M365 Copilot license, you have access to a set of out-of-the-box agents that you can use right away, right? And as you can see right here on the screen, they cover really common business scenarios like analysis and research, live translation and interpretation, facilitator, right? So taking notes, project management. So these are agents that are directly built into your M365 apps, right? For example, we find the facilitator and interpreter in Teams. And we find the analyst and the researcher in the M365 Copilot chat. They already exist, so they are already embedded into our information and our daily workflows. The main idea behind of these pre-built agents is that there is no need to reinvent the wheel or build everything from scratch. There are agents that already exist, right? If I go here under all agents, I'm going to find the agent store, and I'm going to find all of the agents that Microsoft has pre-built, right, that I can install, or agents that have been built by my organization or by my team, and I can simply, right, check if an idea already exists. If the idea doesn't already exist and I need, right, a custom type of agent that is reasoning over maybe a specific set of data for a specific team, I can just go ahead and build my agent. But before that, it's worth checking the agent store, right? And I'm going to briefly talk about the analyst and the researcher, right? So these two agents that you can find, pre-built agents by Microsoft that you can attach in your M365 Copilot chat, because these are two very powerful experiences. The analyst is a first of its kind reasoning agent that helps you tackle complex data queries. So this acts like a built-in data scientist. Think everything about crunching numbers, analyzing organizational data from sources such as Excel spreadsheets, right? Databases, even cloud storage. It's good because it provides insight using a chain of thought reasoning, right? It operates on O3, on OpenAI's O3 mini reasoning model, right? And it has the capability to identify trends, key metrics, patterns, and it can generate reports for you. It can generate reports with visuals such as charts and tables, and we can see here, and it can support you in tasks such as forecasting, for example, visualizing customer purchase patterns, comparing sales performance across regions, across months, across quarters, right? So unlike the standard Copilot chat that focuses on this conversational experience, right? The analyst is optimized for data analysis. That it's its only task: data analysis, visualization, insight generation, crunching numbers, right? And it's so capable, it's so powerful, because it actually runs Python code in the background for deeper analysis. And what's really good when you will interact with it, when you will play around with it, is that you can see exactly how it gets its answers. So it's transparent and it's very easy to trust. Truly, truly, truly powerful agent. And right, I was saying that there is another another LLM that or another vendor that is now present within the Copilot experience, and that is Anthropic, right? Anthropic. So starting a couple of months ago, Anthropic has joined the multi-model engine that powers the Copilot experience, right? So now inside M365 Copilot, we have access to Anthropic models, right? So Claude, Opus, and Sonnet, and we have access to GPT 5 point, right, depending on the version models. And one way in which we can work with the Anthropic models inside the M365 Copilot experience is through the researcher agent, right? So this is the other powerful agent that we have here in Copilot Chat that is running entirely, right? It can run entirely on either Claude, on GPT, or it can run on both models in which you have GPT and Claude comparing the responses. It's a truly, truly powerful agent, and this agent is designed to take that in-depth type of work that you would normally expect a strategist or a researcher to do, right? Because it combines, as you can see, it combines all of the latest advanced reasoning models, right, with inside of Copilot Chat. And what this agent allows you to do is that it helps you, or it allows you gather, analyze, and summarize information from both of your work documents, but also from the web. So if you need to do market research, competitor research, if you simply need to find out what's going on, right, on the market, on your market, you would use the researcher. It's ideal also for preparing client briefs, right? Market research, learning resources. It's a truly, truly, truly powerful agent. So you have the analyst that is designed to work with internal data and with numbers, and you have the researcher that goes much broader, right? It can work with your work data, but it can also work with web data as well, right? So the analyst is data focused, and the researcher is more strategy focused. And another experience that is running on Claude on Anthropic inside of Copilot is the Copilot co-work experience. And this is a very new and powerful addition to the Copilot chat, right? And the technology that sits behind Claude Cowork, right behind Anthropic, is now available directly inside of M365 Copilot, right? Under a much simpler name, it's simply called Cowork. There are a couple of prerequisites to be aware of if you want to work with Cowork. First things first, right? The organization needs to be enrolled in Copilot Frontier. So it has to be a Frontier organization. You have to have that Frontier check in the M365 Admin Center, because this is where, right, all the early and experimental Copilot capabilities are enabled through the Frontier program. And once you make sure you are Frontier enabled, you can install Cowork from the agent store, just like any other Copilot agent, and it will pop up here, right? So from a user perspective, there is no new platform to learn. You enable Frontier and you simply just install the agent, and Cowork shows up inside of Copilot. And what is its purpose, right? Because this is not the conversational experience. This is not a chat experience. Cowork is an experience in which Copilot does things on your behalf. So Copilot Cowork makes it easy to delegate and complete work on your behalf. We describe the outcome that we want, of course, that we are going to have a demo, and we will see that Copilot Cowork creates a plan for us. It reasons across our tools, it reasons across our files, and carries the work forward, right? And if I'm going to look into the Copilot Cowork experience, I can see that I have a couple of starter prompts here that give me a rough idea about what Cowork can actually do, right? It can organize my inbox and it can triage my calendar, right, to organize the entire week. It can review my Outlook schedule. It can check my emails and meetings, and it can reply to my emails, and it can even send meeting invites, right? It can arrange my whole week, and it can help me prepare for a meeting by pulling, I don't know, relevant files. It can help me perform deep research, right? So in this case, it can gather all type of reports on my behalf. It's designed to do work on your behalf. Is designed to carry out tasks on your behalf across the M365 environment. Again, from sending emails to scheduling meetings to creating Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoints, to posting in Teams, right, to searching in your organization. And we will see how powerful it is, right, during the demo. This has been released just a couple of weeks ago, and I am already just using Cowork. I've almost forgotten about the normal chat experience, right? And last but not least, right, one of the most powerful tools or powerful additions in Copilot Chat is building our own agents, right? This is where the real customization and where the real potential comes in us building this specialized AI assistants that can ground in our very specific type of data, right? So we can maybe skip repetitive responses that we have to give. We can connect the agent to our internal data sources, preferred data sources, and streamline the workflows across the M365, right? For example, we can build a contract review assistant that can summarize, compare, and extract data from contracts. Or what we will do, right? We can build an HR agent that coordinates the answers to the most frequent HR questions, right? Answers regarding policies, insurances, benefits, anything that is HR specific. Truly, truly powerful tools that we have access to inside of Copilot chat. So without any further ado, let's go into the last two demos of the day. So let's play around with cowork. I'm really, really excited about this cowork. And for that, right, we are going to do a simple demo just for you to understand how it works, because this is the idea. We are going to use a real scenario, right? Because I have to prepare an internal demo for a part of my organization for Copilot Cowork. So this is what we're going to do today. And I'm going to copy my prompt that I have prepared. And right, I'm going to tell Cowork, help me prepare an internal demo of Copilot Cowork. Context: this is a 15-minute internal demo for colleagues who already know M365 Copilot. The goal is to explain what Cowork is and why it's different from the normal chat experience. First, ask me up to 3 clarifying questions that will help me improve the demo, because I also don't know what I want, right? So I'm waiting for AI to help me understand what I want. Then create a simple demo structure with maximum of 3 sections. For each section, suggest concise talking points, right? So give me speaker notes. Identify anything that sounds like marketing or could confuse a technical audience, right? Because my audience would be technical and I don't want any type of marketing fluff or flowery language or anything. Right? Ask for my approval or edits before moving on. And at the end, send me an email summary with everything we've discussed. Block 1 hour in my calendar or on Friday for the demo, and prepare a 3 slides PowerPoint with key talking points about Cowork. And optionally use TDCNS branding. I think I'm just going to delete this, right? And now it's going to take some time, because now what it's going to do, right? Of course, first things first, it's going to reason over my request, and then it's going to breaking down in smaller steps, right? And it will take a while. I think we can even move into the agent building, and we can come back here and check the work. Remember that I've asked it to ask me 3 clarifying questions, right? So this is what it's doing right now. What type of audience will I have? To be customer facing but less technical. What is the key takeaway that I want my colleagues to get? That it acts on my behalf, that it's very different from the conversational experience, right? Because this is something that does the work for me. And the demo style, show Cowork doing something real, right? Perfect. And now what did I ask it to do? Right now it's writing the demo for me and the talking points, exactly like I asked it to. Okay. I approve, move forward. Right, so if I'm happy with the ideas here, I am moving forward. Okay, then I have my live demo. Okay, prep me for my next customer meeting, a simple demo. I approve. Okay. Now the wrap up and their call to action, right? So giving the audience a clear next step. Okay, I approve. And now I should have all of these three actions done by Cowork. So I want an email summary, I want a blocker this Friday, and I want a PowerPoint with the key talking points. So basically showing up with a presentation, right? And now it's showing me the progress of all of the actions that I've asked it to take for me, right? And now this is its thinking process. How do you find this? Did you already have time to experiment with Cowork, or do you have any idea that this existed inside of the Copilot chat? Perfect. Now, before every time that you want to send an email, right? Or any time that you want to create an Outlook reminder, you will be asked to approve and create, right? So now my blocker will get created. Let me show you because I already received the email. So I already received the email summary with everything that we've discussed, right? Hi, Sarina, here is the summary sent by Copilot Cowork in an instant, right? If I'm going to check my calendar for this Friday, the blocker, whatever, the blocker is right here, right? And now I should have exactly prepare the preparation of the PowerPoint. This is the last step that Cowork will do. It will prepare my PowerPoint. You can even send your emails from here, right? The way that I send emails now is with Cowork, because again, remember, before every time that Cowork will send an email on your behalf, you will have to approve. So it will never do things without you approving. So don't panic because of that. But it's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Yes, Niels, ask IT if they can activate Frontier, because otherwise you won't get access to Cowork. Okay, it's only building 3 slides. Perfect. Exactly. Right? I have my PowerPoint built, and every time that you are going to ask Cowork to build any documents on your behalf, right, they will be saved in your OneDrive folder, just so you know. But of course, that you can also download them from here. So let's see, right? Let's see. Three slides, the difference between Copilot Chat and Cowork, and what it can do, right? I don't need a lot of slides. I didn't tell it what exactly I wanted these slides to, right, to encompass. I just simply went along with it, and I have a 3 slides presentation for my demo that I can, right, brand it or change the colors, or that's it. As simple as that. As simple as that. All right. We can actually close the PowerPoint, and we can go to the second demo of the day. And for that, I will need to change the tenant. For that, I will need to change the tenant, and I will move into this. Okay. All right, and let's create an agent in Copilot Chat. For that, I will be using a SharePoint site, right, for grounding. And I'm going to be using an HR benefits SharePoint site with some, right, standard HR documents such as benefits, the employee handbook, health benefits, perks, role libraries, or whatever is standard, just so you understand how easy it is to create an agent and ground it in a SharePoint, in an internal SharePoint resource. right? I go here on the left and I simply click on New Agent. And from here, I have two options of creating the agent. I can either stick with the natural language creation, in which I simply just type in a prompt and the agent builder will do the whole configuration for me. Or I can skip to the manual configuration myself and I do everything, right? I do everything myself manually. So let's take the manual configuration approach. I'm going to give my agent a name, HR agent, let's say May, right? And I'm putting a small description so people know what this agent is about. Come on. Copy. Oh, come on. Fine, then we're just going to put that it's an HR assistant. And I cannot copy the instructions. I cannot copy the instructions. Okay. Then we are going to do the natural language one. Right, I want to create an HR assistant that helps employees with questions about their benefits, company policies, insurance options, and workplace perks. I want this agent to offer clear, accurate, and friendly guidance, always using official information, right? And now the agent builder is going to work its magic. And it's going to build a configuration for me. All right? So from a very, very simple prompt that I've put here in the original chat, I have the whole configuration of the agent done for me, right? Including the instructions that I can, of course, edit, right? I have my general guidelines, what type of tone is my agent supposed to use, right? So in the instructions, this is how I direct the behavior of my agent. This is how I ensure that my agent is interacting with my users the way that I wanted to interact, right? Using a friendly and approachable tone, providing accurate and up-to-date information. How is it supposed to answer questions? What the workflow is, right? And right here, I have the knowledge section. So in the knowledge section, we should attach any relevant data sources. So for us, any relevant HR data sources, and we're going to attach a SharePoint site. And I can either search for the SharePoint site, or for the, I can search for the files itself. I can search for the site itself. And this is how I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose for this agent to ground in this whole HR benefits SharePoint site. And then it will be able to offer me responses based on this, this knowledge base, right? So these knowledge sources ground your agent in either your own enterprise data, in public content if you want to do so, or in any type of specific information that you want to upload, right? Because you can either upload files from your device or from OneDrive, or you can either add chats, or I don't have any meetings or chats to add, right? But you can ground your agents in various data sources. Mine will remain grounded in the SharePoint HR, right? And I'm just going to ask the agent to only use the specified data sources. So whenever I leave this toggle on, this means that the agent will answer questions that don't require searching based on its general knowledge. So when I'm using this option, the agent will only answer questions with data coming from within the SharePoint site. No more, no less. And right here, I have a couple of capabilities. I have the creating images capabilities. I don't need my agent to do that, so I will turn this capability off. And I have this creation of documents, charts, and code capability. This was called the code interpreter before. And what this capability does is that it enables your agent to solve complex tasks using Python code, right? So you can even create Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files, right, using Python code if you let this toggled enabled. We don't need to do so for our agent, right? This is a simple employee-facing agent that is answering standard HR questions, right? And right here, I have my starter prompts. Again, these are intuitive. Again, these are just predefined suggestions or questions that are designed to help users initiate a conversation in case that they don't know how to initiate a conversation with your agent, right? I'm just going to click on create. Okay. And now let's interact with our agent. Let's ask it, can you give me a summary of the employee benefits offered? It's perfect, right? And the employee benefits should come from the standard and plus benefits and benefit options. So let's see. Yes, Contoso Electronics, okay. Wellness and lifestyle, okay. Okay, so I have a lot of benefits right here, right? So, and if I want to check the exact file or from where this agent is taking its information, right, we can see that I have the source right here and I can check in the PDF directly, right? And this is how simple it is to create an agent in M365 Copilot chat. Any questions, please? Okay, I'm bringing myself on the screen. Any questions, any feedback, any complaints? Maybe we have reached the end of our Copilot chat session. Very clear. I'm very glad to hear that. Thank you. It's very, very powerful. I know that there are a lot of capabilities, and this is exactly the problem, that there are a lot of capabilities in Copilot Chat. I focused on the main ones, on the most powerful ones, and right now the most powerful ones are the Cowork and the Agent Builder. So yeah, do start with Cowork. It's very, very powerful. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week ahead, and yeah, have a great afternoon. Have a great afternoon. Yes, you will get the slides. My colleague has confirmed you will get the slides. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.